A Filipina graduate student is this year's winner. The prestigious William James Prize is an award given for outstanding work in philosophy and psychology. Joan Ongchoco tells us more about it. She joins us live from New Haven in Connecticut. Joan, thank you so much for joining us. Wow, the first Filipino to be recognized with this recognition. What does this mean to you and your research?
Thank you, Rico, first off. And really, it's been quite overwhelming, to be honest. It's an incredible honor, and I'm glad that I get to share this with, not just my lab or my advisor, but really with my family and my friends and my mentors and my professors from college. This is really as much their win as it is mine. And of course, to be able to share it also with my fellow kababayan, my fellow Filipinos. I think, as you yourself mentioned, it's especially meaningful. My receiving this prize as a Filipina scientist. I think when I was young, I knew very few Filipina scientists, if any at all, and so this is really. This one's for all the young girls and young boys, but really the young girls out there, I think.
We are really very proud of you, Joan. But please break down for us this very scientific discovery that you have. It's called scaffolded attention.
Yes. And so actually, a lot of this is part of a larger body of work that I study in the hallucinations. We typically think of hallucinations as something that occurs in clinical contexts, but I'm interested in when it occurs in everyday experiences, as when you're staring at bathroom tiles or graph paper, and then you begin to see all sorts of different shapes and patterns. I'm outing my dad here, but certainly this is something that he experiences quite a bit when he's just staring at bathroom tiles. And I think the question here is really, what do people see and what do people imagine, and where does that kind of active imagination come from in the first place? And that's what I'm interested in. I think this has been, something that always fascinated me, even just about Filipino culture, like that active imagination. We're constantly making up stories and music and arts and so on. And that's what I study. I want to know sort of or understand better the power of the human mind and the human imagination to create and do everything that it's able to do. So that's sort of what it is. And scaffolded attention here is just a case study, really, of all of that.
Understanding the inner workings and the intricacies of the human mind. But of course, Joan, right now, we are in this pandemic, and it is having a substantial impact on the emotional, physical, and social circumstances of everyone, especially in children's development. Philosophically, tell us, and psychologically, how do we overcome these challenges?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I myself have thought a lot about, like especially in the last year of the pandemic and the lockdown. And I think this is where, as I mentioned, like the human imagination like comes in again. Like I think the way around this is to still sort of honor that and to keep on creating, to never stop thinking and writing and reading and learning. I think we typically take it for granted, and we think about it as like, oh, like it's something that maybe you might do in schools and so on. But it's something that we have to keep doing in our lives, and I think that's the way that we get over the sort of emotional inertia and the mental struggles that came about from the lockdown and the pandemic in the first place. And so certainly it's kept me going throughout this entire time.
Yeah, we always have to find ways and means to keep ourselves entertained during these very trying times, Joan. So I want to find out from you, what's next after you complete your PhD next year? What can we expect from Joan Ongchoco?
Oh my goodness. To be honest, I don't know. Right now, it's just really incredibly exciting for me, and there's still so much to do and so many questions that I'm interested in asking. And so part of what I'm trying to do now is just really taking things one day at a time. But the reality is that there's so many possibilities. People think PhD, and then it's typically in academia, you become a college professor. But really, I've learned so much, and there's so much to do. And so I'm really, I don't know. There are many options out there. But
A
one
lot of
thing is for
options
sure.
out there, Joan. Maybe one of them is being a world-class ballroom dancer. I found out in your
Oh, gosh.
biography that you're a very good tango and waltz dancer.
Yes, well, I certainly look forward to being able to dance again soon, as things are getting better in the pandemic. It has been such a big part of my life, and actually, one thing people don't know, and one thing that people might not expect, is that dance has been sort of the underlying motivation for a lot of the work that I do. Sort of the inspiration behind, thinking about the imagination. Partly also just came from dance and my experience dancing. So definitely, I will keep dancing no matter where I end up.
Joan, all Filipinos are very, very proud of you. Congratulations, and thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. Joan Ongchoco,
Thank you.
live from New Haven in Connecticut.